everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a disappointing products video, which I always love watching them and filming those, so I hope you do too. I accumulated a few products that I'm disappointed with, I regret buying, or I simply just don't love them. Most of these products are not horrible in any way, shape, or form, but I just don't love them. They don't work for me for whatever reason that I will explain to you. So if you love these products, don't take it personally and leave a comment actually letting people know, me included, why you love them, how they work for you. Because obviously nobody ever purchased a product hoping that they will dislike them. So if I can find a way to make these work for me, I will be very happy. With that said, let's start. The first product I was disappointed with is this CoverGirl pressed powder. This one is the normal skin one, which I purchased because I adore the sensitive pressed powder. And when I went to the US, they didn't have it in store, at least not at the Ulta I went to. So I grabbed this one instead. And unfortunately, as soon as I opened it, the color isn't wrong. The powder is actually still great, as you can see. It is a really, it's a really finely milled powder. It doesn't look cakey at all on the skin. If I swatch it, you can see it looks fantastic on the skin. That's why I adore the sensitive one. But this one smells so strong of perfume. Like, as soon as I open it, I'm like, no, I can't deal with this. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna try to find someone else that might not be bothered by the scent and just give it to her, because it's a great powder. I just can't stand the scent, and obviously I didn't know whenever I purchased this. I've always bought the sensitive one not knowing the differences, and I would highly recommend this powder, especially if you have dry skin and you feel like powders, you can't wear them because they always look dry or they just emphasize any dry patches on your face. I never have that issue with that powder. It's really fantastic. But unfortunately, the normal skin one just smells way too strong, but I didn't notice a difference in the formula except for the scent, so I would highly recommend you try the sensitive press one. But unfortunately, I was really disappointed with this one simply because I can't use it. I have a full-size pressed powder that I know I love the formula of, but I just can't put it on my face. I can't even open it. Every time I'm like, nope, I just can't do it. So first product I kind of regret buying. The next product is probably going to surprise a few people. Actually, a lot of these are probably going to surprise a few people. I call it the magical disappearing ink because it just disappears on me. This is the Physician Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner in Serum in Ultra Black, which everyone raves about this eyeliner, and I was really excited to finally get it. As you can see, it has a really nice fine point to it. It is a brush dip. It is definitely black, and I believe it dries matte, I'm pretty sure. The only thing is I apply it, it applies really easily, but then I come back and look at myself in the mirror a couple of hours later and huge chunks of it just aren't there anymore. And I know I applied it because I've been trying to love this so much. I tried it so many times, and every single time, especially at the wing, and I just come back and a huge chunk of it is just gone, and I have no idea how, which disappearing ink. I actually have that same issue quite often with the Kat Von D one, actually just here, which is why I don't love it. I adore how precise it is, but again, same thing. They both have a brush tip applicator, and as you can see, they look basically like dupes. They're really similar, but in both cases, they will tend to skip sometimes whenever the tip gets a bit dry and it just takes off part of the eyeliner, and then a couple of hours later, parts are just not there anymore, which is very confusing. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong with this, and I know that people had the same issue and some people love them, so I'm always very confused whenever I talk about this. But I really try to like this eyeliner because, first of all, it costs a lot of money for something from the drugstore, and when it first is applied, it does look nice, but I just can't forgive the fact that it disappears on me. So unfortunately, disappointed with this and very confused. The next product is something that was raved about so much on YouTube a few years ago, and I'm talking about the MAC Natural Skin Finish Natural, which this one I have is Light Plus, which was an okay match. I was matched in store at like NC15, which isn't my color. I'm like NW15, 20, so. But that's a different story. But I don't love the formula as much as the Studio Fix. So if you were wondering between the two, I would recommend going with this one instead of this one. I know everyone says that it doesn't look powdery and it looks really nice on the skin, but I found to be the opposite. This one does look powdery on my skin. And plus, to be honest, I am allergic to it. It does break me out, but like that's a different story. It's just the formula. I don't like it as much as the Studio Fix. This one is definitely lighter. It doesn't give you as much coverage, which it's fine. Isn't what I have a problem with. It's just the texture on my skin isn't as nice as this one. This one, I just touch it and it's so much softer. It looks really, really nice. It isn't powdery at all. And it gives you a lot more coverage, which some people want the coverage, some people don't. But for some reason, I just really like it a lot more. The two in the bottoms. So as you can see, the Studio Fix does give you a lot more coverage. Even though it does give you more coverage, it doesn't look cakey at all. It just looks really awesome on the skin and it's so soft. So if I had to recommend one or the other, I would say skip this one and try this one instead. I find myself reaching for this a lot more, and this one is going to be re-owned, but I adore this one. So if I had to purchase another powder from MAC, it would definitely be another color of the Studio Fix. Another product from MAC, which I know, shocking. Emily, I thought you liked MAC. I do, but sometimes not everything will work for you. Another product I was raved about so much on YouTube. I will have to do a video about that. Like, YouTube made me do it. That product will so be in there. MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle, which a couple years ago, if you watch YouTube, you know that everyone, and I mean everyone, loved that highlighter and everyone was saying that it was the one that you needed, and highlighters were not even a huge thing back then, and that was, I think it was the first one that I bought just before the Mirror Luminizer. So I've had this for quite a while and I regret buying it. I was kind of disappointed with it because a lot of people were saying how natural it looks on your skin, and no. This definitely has a lot of chunky particle of glitter in there, which, nothing against it. I feel like to go out, it's definitely a very intense highlighter, but I wanted to get something that was natural simply because everyone was saying how natural it looks, which the color is great, by the way, but I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see. Like, it looks shimmery there, but there's definitely chunks of glitter, so it just was not what I was buying this for, because everyone was saying how natural it looked, and unfortunately really not the case. And just looking at it, I'm like, yeah, it definitely looks like something that's gonna have like glitter and like a lot of shimmer in there. So not the one I would recommend. If you're looking for a really natural highlighter and you don't mind splurging for it, the one that I keep raving about, but I need to rave about it, it would be the Laura Mercier Matte Highlight in 01. That one is the most natural highlighter ever. It looks like you're naturally glowy. Everyone always mentions it whenever I wear it because it's amazing. Actually, that's the one I'm wearing today. Just realized. It just gives you exactly what I wish the MAC one gave me, which is a very natural glow. No shimmer, no glitter. It's just... So I'm hoping you can see them. So basically, this is everything that the MAC one wasn't for me. I know a lot of people still love this, and I do like it, but I'm not in love with it simply because, again, glitter, shimmer. I feel like when you buy something thinking it will do one thing, sometimes you kind of just end up resenting it. So I feel like that's basically what has been happening with me and this MAC highlighter. So not a horrible product. It just was completely different from what I thought it would be. So kind of disappointed with it. I'm not huge on glitter and shimmer on my cheeks in general anyway. So yeah, just disappointed with this one. Definitely a YouTube made me buy it for sure. The next product, I was very disappointed with it for multiple reasons, and it is the Bourjois LT Mix Concealer. I do like the foundation, although the color range is not the best. Same thing with this one, but unfortunately the concealer, I got the lightest shade, which... So this is the lightest shade they have. And right now, I'm really not at my lightest, so... This is really, really dark. I think I have it here, but even the Bourjois foundation in 51, which is the same color, is lighter, which who use a darker concealer under their eyes that they would on their face? I was just very confused because I bought the two colors one day at the drugstore, just not swatching them, just grabbing them. And I didn't realize that they would not even be similar. Like, this is like at least 2 shades darker than the foundation. So I got really, really confused. The formula is not horrible, but it's it kind of wants to be moisturizing, but ends up not looking super great under your eyes. So wasn't crazy about the formula too. But yeah, the range of color for the lightest and obviously for the darkest, it's just not there. So very disappointed with this one. I will obviously pass this to a friend. Maybe she will like the formula better, but it just didn't work for my under eyes. And obviously the color is just... Yeah, so totally regret buying this and very disappointed with it. On the bright side, it does smell like fruits, like the LT Mix Serum Foundation, so yay. The next two products I don't hate. I don't feel like it's a horrible product whatsoever, but I'm kind of disappointed and kind of regretting buying them because I never reached for them for whatever reason. And I'm talking about the Balm Nude Dude and Nude Tude eyeshadow palettes. The colors in the palettes are actually pretty. Like, look at this. This is the Nude Dude. And there's obviously the little dudes there, which the Balm has the best packaging ever. That's just, yeah. And this is the Nude Tude, but usually there's little girls, but I got the one without. And unfortunately, I look at this palette, the colors do look pretty, but I just never reach for it because I'm just never feeling it. I much prefer their bigger palettes, their bigger eyeshadow palettes. When you look at this, this is actually tiny. Like, it's the size of my nails, like really, really small colors, but I just never reach for it. I do think the colors are pretty. I swatched them and I'm like, okay, they're good. So this is the Nude Tude with the little girls. These ones are really fantastic for the formula. I feel like I prefer the formula of these ones over the one in the Nude Dude. As you can see, they do swatch beautifully, especially with your fingers, obviously. But the other palette, they swatch okay with your finger, but not so much with the brushes. So whenever you try to blend them, there's not that much pigmentation, which I know some people do like it, but I'm just mentioning it. But the matte colors are just, even with my finger, I have trouble making the matte colors show up on this one. As you can see, this is a matte color. There's barely anything on my finger. Yeah. You can see the two matte colors just barely show up even with your finger, so you can imagine with a brush on the eyes. So unfortunately, disappointed with it, especially because the colors are actually really, really pretty. This is definitely calling my name, but plus there's the little guys, which it never hurts. So I do like usually their eyeshadow formula, so I was kind of just disappointed with this one. And this one, the formula is fine, but I just never reach for it for whatever reason. So I think I might do a few looks with them simply because I know it was requested. And after that, I think I'm gonna try to re-own them. I still want to try more of their palettes because the ones that I have that are like big shadows, fantastic, no complaints. But these ones I just don't reach for. So kind of disappointed with them, kind of regretting buying them. But yeah, usually their matte eyeshadows are great. So I was just confused with this one. Next two products are probably gonna get a lot of reactions, which don't take it personally. Sometimes products just don't work for you, and I really, really tried to make these two products work for me, but I'm just disappointed with them. They're not horrible, but they're just not something I reach for, and I'm kind of like realizing it's a bit pointless for me to have them, except for collecting. So the first one is a Becca highlighter, which, don't throw rocks at me, I know. Especially this color, which is Champagne Pop, which I know everyone is loving this highlighter, but unfortunately, it was advertised as something that would work for every skin tone, which I should have known already. Nothing works for every skin tone, especially like skin products, and even then you can see, this is way too dark for my skin tone, and I'm not even at my lightest here. So unfortunately, this is something I can only use during the middle of summer whenever I'm tan. And I don't know about you, but I feel like the formula might be a bit different from the other one of Becca. I might be wrong because I don't have, you know, all of them. It's at the bottom. You can see. It is really, really intense, and this was my first, I believe my first Becca highlighter, and a lot of people were saying how beautiful it was and like not so intense, and this is definitely very, very intense. It's not that I hate it. I don't like lose sleep over the fact that I bought this and regret it, but because I can only use it in the middle of summer, it's kind of a little bit pointless for me to have it. But it is a beautiful highlighter. It does work for certain skin tones, but I feel like the formula might be different. You can like confirm if you have tried more of their highlighters, but I feel like it's not the same texture exactly. Again, might be in my mind. So yeah, I don't hate it, but I just kind of am a little bit disappointed because I can only use it a specific amount of time in a whole year, and kind of regret buying it a little bit. The next product I don't hate either, but it was really expensive and I have to like go through so much to make it work that it's kind of pointless. And I'm talking about the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops, and I have the color Moonlight, which stunning color, but my do I have to go through a lot of steps to make it work for me. When they came out, I feel like everyone was raving about these so much, like you basically needed them in your life, but look how intense that is. Like, I can't wear this on a daily basis. Like, sure, for certain looks when you want something very, very intense, sure, it might work. And even when I try to sheer it out, it's still way too intense. Like, let me try to apply. So basically what I have to do to make it work is apply the tiniest little amount on my finger and then basically rub off most of it and then tap it on my finger, which, like, I feel like I'm wasting a lot of products. And of course you do get a gigantic amount of product. Like, I could use this every day for like 10 years and still have some. But even then, it was still very intense. I applied it right here and you can see it's still very intense. And I didn't notice this at first, but I tried mixing it with foundation and everything, but it ends up making me look really like shimmery, like particles of glitter, which at first I didn't notice. So I went outside my house a couple times with like shimmer all over my face. Didn't notice it because I don't tend to look at myself like with a mirror outside all the time. So at one point I realized that I had a swatch on my hand of like the leftover whenever I was trying to make it wearable. And I was like, wow, so there's a lot of glitter in there. I didn't notice, which I'm gonna try to, do you see it? So it's not a light, shimmery, glowy product. It is definitely very intense, very glittery, which you can still use it. I can still use it all over my lid before applying a shadow or something. For the price and for the amount of effort I have to go through to make this work, I feel like it was not worth the money. I'm kind of disappointed with it. Again, something everyone was raving about, so I just rushed and got it. I know a lot of people were saying just use your beauty blender and everything, but I don't want glitter on there, and especially for the price of this, I don't want it to be ruined, but there's definitely ways to make it work, but I just don't think for the price I should have to go through this much work. Do you know what I mean? Like, when something is not expensive, I'm like, oh, you know, it's okay, I'll make it work somehow. I feel like whenever you spend a lot of money on a product, it should be very user-friendly, it should be very easy to use, and you wouldn't have to go through all these steps. Definitely something that YouTube made me buy it, but in a bad way because I don't reach for it very often because of all of these things. So last but not least, last product that I regret buying is it's the Laura Geller Bake Balance and Brighten Foundation in Fair, which I adore this packaging one. This one is also called the Balance and Brighten in Regular. I adore this powder. I bought it on Outlook a while ago and totally fell in love with it. This is the best foundation, powder foundation ever. Unfortunately, Regular is basically my summer shade, as you can see right here. So it is pretty dark, but again, it is the most natural powder. Like, you don't really see it much here. Oh, actually, you can kind of see it. So as you can see, it is dark for me. So right now, I wouldn't be able to use it right now, but this is fantastic. It looks so good on the skin. Like, you can use a little bit of BB cream and then apply it to add a little bit of coverage and just mattify it, and it's just awesome, magical skin. Like, everyone always asks me whenever I wear this, like, wow, your skin looks really, really natural. Are you even wearing makeup? That's how good it is. But unfortunately, when I went in the US trying to find a lighter shade for the winter, I got this one. And I'm not sure, they have a different color of the packaging, so I guess they did change something. But unfortunately, this one has glitter. No. I feel like it's a theme for the whole video that glitter all over my face, just not my thing. On a daily basis, I do like to have somewhat of a natural base, even if it's full coverage. Sometimes you just feel like having a lot of coverage, but I still like it to look natural and not super cakey or shimmery. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see on camera, but yeah, it doesn't look that bad, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to show you because it's really hard to show on camera, but there is a faint particle of glitter in there, or shimmer. They're very faint, they're not super, super intense, but they're still there. And considering that I thought they were the same thing, same name and everything, except for the color of the packaging, I thought I would buy something that didn't have glitter, and that would be like this because I adore this. Sometimes you can still find these on Outlook, so if they have them, recommend getting this. These one, unfortunately, I don't know how to make it work. I did try to, you know, tap the excess on your brush and everything, but it's just not as good. So disappointed with it because I know how much I love this one and I thought it would be the exact same thing, and unfortunately, disappointed with this. Do regret buying it because I wish it was like the other one. So that's it, guys. Those are 10-ish products that I regret buying / I'm disappointing with. Let me know in the comments what products you feel like that. Have you tried these products? Do you feel the same as me? Do you feel differently? Don't forget to leave a comment, give this video a big thumbs up, and to subscribe to not miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.